we have to, here on Cattles and Rami, Sactown Sports, jump to the Raiders, Rami, because, man, oh, man, this team could teach a class on how to lose big leads and collapse in football games.
Nick, I want to remind you of a statistic I gave you earlier in the year.
Please do.
That blew my mind and then blew your mind when I read it out loud to you.
Ready.
The Raiders, in the illustrious history of the Los Angeles/Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders, with a lead of 17 or more points before Josh McDaniels was the head coach, were 214, 5-1.
214, 5-1.
They had in 220 games that they had a 17-point lead or more. They had won 214 of those 220 games.
What?
Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
I hear it.
Under Josh McDaniels, 3 games where they've had a 17-point lead or more, and they're somehow 0-3. This is hard to do, man. It's hard to be this bad. It's hard to be this bad when you have big leads. I don't even know how you do this. I don't understand how you pull off this magic act of making wins disappear.
Dominating now.
A disaster. I don't know how you lose 3 games where you lead by 17 points or more. I don't know how you allow the Jacksonville Jaguars to go on that kind of run yesterday. It was a complete mess in the second half. You come off of the game against New Orleans, and, you go out there and it looks like, okay, first half, first quarter and a half, because towards the tail end of the first half, they started to lose their grip. But the first quarter and a half, you go, here's a team responding. They're responding after an absolutely inexcusable performance against the Saints last weekend. And you would think there would be some urgency. You would think there would be some energy and some life out there, and that they would say, we can't allow this to happen again. From the coaching staff on down to the players, you would think that, but that obviously wasn't the case. Here was Josh McDaniels after losing another big lead.
It's not good enough. You know what I mean? I know that. And so, we got to coach better in those situations. We got to avoid feeling like the situation is okay, and I don't sense that our team relaxes when we have that situation, but obviously that may be the wrong thing. You know what I mean? And so we've played, like I said, we've played some stretches of football that are good enough to get ahead and produce a lead, but that's not what this league is about. This league is about playing the second half just as well as you played the first half and trying to win the game. So sometimes lessons are learned the hard way, and obviously we've had to swallow some difficult ones this year. And but I have a lot of confidence and faith in the way that these guys will respond. They always do.
Season's over.
Yeah, it's been over.
It's dead.
Yeah,
it's dead.
Of course it is.
I mean, if you thought they had any chance, and last weekend should have been the indicator that this puppy was over. But yesterday, I mean, come on, nail in the coffin. And where's the texter? Remember the texter saying that we were too low on the Raiders, saying they'd win 10 games?
10 games.
We looked like
10
idiots.
games. Yeah, we were way too high on this team. Way too high on this football team is what we were.
It's so bad. It is so. I don't know what the identity is.
Were you watching that and kind of chuckling and going, there's no way they're going to do this again, right? They can't do this again. That was
more like they're going to do this again.
Yeah, at some point it was like, oh my God, they're going to do this again, aren't they?
This is a recurring nightmare. They're going to do this again. And sometimes they run first and then they air it out. And do you want to? Yesterday they're airing it out in the first half. They're successful. They come out in the second half. They start running the football, trying to establish the run. Is this a game plan offense? Is this a run-first offense? Is this a Derek Carr, Devontae Adams offense? I don't know. Because when they play their best and they win, Josh Jacobs is running the football. But they come out yesterday, and they're throwing the football all over the joint, and Derek Carr was tremendous in the first half. And then in the second half, it's almost like they just took that game plan or took what they were going to do, just threw it out the window and said, all right, let's do something different here.
Did Devontae Adams have 2 yards in the second half? Is that right?
You know what?
He had 2 yards in the second half?
Derek Carr threw for 36 yards in the second half. Derek Carr was 5 for 15, 36 yards
that can't be right.
in the second half.
That can't be right. Let me double
and
check
he
that.
had about a handful of throws that could have been picked.
36 yards sounds like less than a quarter of production. Let me just double check your math there. Oh yeah, no, 36 yards, 36 yards in a whole half.
God awful.
Wow.
Their third down defense, Rami, at one point, they gave up 8 out of 10 third down conversions to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars started 1 for 3 on third down. The next 10, they went 8 for 10 on third down. Your third down defense was atrocious. Your front seven defensively was a joke. Derek Carr was an absolute freaking mess. The head coach, again, looks like a chicken with his head cut off on the sidelines, giving up a lead and having no idea how to adjust or how to address it. As you mentioned, Davante Adams was erased in the second half. This was just, I don't even know if I could call it catastrophic because it's pretty much business as usual this season.
Remember this before this week stretch in the schedule, and everybody's like, "Oh, Raiders 1-3, they can get back in this week stretch in the schedule." And I looked at people and I said, "How dare you? How dare you look at any opponent or any stretch in your schedule?
It's true.
And consider them light."
He did say
consider that easy work. The Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars, came back from a 17-point deficit to the Raiders. There's nobody on the Raiders schedule that anybody should be looking at as light work.
Yep. Verlatte and I made that mistake. It's on us. Brutal. It's just bad all around. And Davante Adams is, talking about the offensive game plan and, hey, we came out cooking and then we went away from it.
I got things I want to say, but I can't.
It's just.
What does that mean?
It's a mess.
Very ominous.
I think what I'm hearing from you, Rami, is this week for the Raiders is a must win.
Yes.
Must win.
If they're going to do anything this season.
It's got to be this Sunday. This week against Jeff Saturday and the Colts.